Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. So today we are diving into the incredible world of Power BI, a powerful tool for turning your data into stunning visuals and actionable insights. So even if you are a complete beginner, don't worry, we are going to build a report together and in no time basically. So yeah, let's jump onto the laptop. So first things first, we need data. So Power BI can connect to all sorts of sources, from Excel spreadsheets to cloud database. But for this example, I am going to use this little table here in Wikipedia. So this is basically a distribution of population by continent. So what we're going to do, I'm going to copy this URL and I will explain why in a second. So as we say, Power BI can connect to multiple data sources. But yeah, if you haven't downloaded Power BI, I will include the link in the description. You can download Power BI for free. So we're going to go for get data. As you can see, there's different sources we can get data from, and more. These are all the sources you can get data from. That's fantastic. So we're gonna go get data, and we're gonna go web because we want data from Wikipedia, and we're going to pass in the URL we copied, and it's going to go and validate. So Power BI is now validating the link and returning that data from the website in form of tables such as these. And you can click these tables to see what sort of data is inside. Voila. So we're going to click this checkbox, and we're going to say load or transform data. So we're going to transform data. Always transform. Always transform. So why transform? So transforming data is a way that allows us to clean and shape our data. But don't worry. Power BI Power Queries Editor is like a magic wand. Basically, you can do some really cool stuff in here, and yeah, don't worry, we got you covered. So first things first, I'm going to duplicate my data source, and I'm going to rename this raw data, or in fact just raw. So the reason for doing this is what let me just put it into a group, then I can say raw data. So the reason for doing this is if I make a mistake further down the road, I'll know like I have a copy of untouched data that I can refer back to and use. So we're now in here in Power Query Editor. So there's a few things I want to change. So first of all is these two columns. I do not need those. So I'm just going to say remove columns. And you notice something quite cool. It tracks, Power Query Editor tracks all the changes. So let's say I made a mistake. I didn't know intend to remove those two columns. I can just remove the step and it will say, voila, cool, brings them back. But here we know for sure we want to remove this. So we're going to say remove columns. Population, we just want to say population. We're going to go with that. Distribution of population, let's rename that. Population, say, let's say continents. Continents by population. Okay. By population. Okay, cool. Voila, we're there now. Cool. Yeah. So here we have world that is represented as a continent, but world is not a continent. So we're going to say remove rows, and we're going to say top rows is going to say, okay, how many top rows do you want to remove? We're going to say 1, and we're going to say Antarctica is got a 0 value here in the population. So we're going to say we don't want that as well. So let's just remove the bottom rows again. How many number of rows you want to remove? Just 1. And voila. So our data is taking shape already. Our table is looking alright. That's quite neat. So before we go to this, you see these little icons here, A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3. So what Power Query does, it tries to it tries to guess the type of the data type within each column, and it assigns it a specific data type. So in this case, it's done well. This is a text, and this is a whole number, and it's just done that. So that's fantastic. So what we're gonna do here is close and apply. So what's happening now is all the changes that we've made are being saved and being run through the back in the engine, but I've just spotted something we've done wrong, or I've done wrong rather, that we need to change before we can go any further. I'll explain in a second. So here we have two tables that have been returned. So this is our backup table. We do not want to see that. We just want to see continents by population, not the raw data. So well, it's easy fix. We're going to go into transform data, and we are going to right click on raw because that's one we do not want to see, and we're just going to uncheck this enable load, and that's it. Click continue. So what's happening now, this data type, this data source is just now being suppressed, so it won't be visible in our report until we come back and check that enable load again. So we're going to say close and apply, and voila. And now comes the fun part. So we got our data, that's fantastic, continent and population, amazing. And now what we're going to do, we're just going to drag the data types, population, and then we're going to put continents on top, and voila. So I'm going to show you something again. Let me just delete this. I'm going to show you something that could happen if you use this sort of data types. So if we drag continent here, it's going to say, oh, what's going on there? Map and field map visuals are disabled. To enable them, go to file and so forth. So there are other things like you could use in Power BI, like options. Yeah, it's given us the steps that we need to do actually. So it says options global and where's global, global, then security, and yeah, why not while we're here. So let's see what happens now. Voila. So we have a nice little map here that shows us where things are, but it's not the greatest, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's something like this. That's quite cool. We can live with that. So we have our map, and now we're gonna bring in population, and we're going to say, okay, on top of that population, this is what we got, and okay, that's fine. So what else can we do to this? What else can we do? So let's just make this fit a little bit better. Okay. Voila. Cool. So we have like a world map there showing us the area. So if we click on Asia, it's just going to highlight Asia. If we do Africa, it's just going to highlight Africa. Fantastic. So this is not enough. Like we could do more to in here. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna say we want a way to navigate our table. So again, we brought in just things. We want a map, but no, we do not want a map in this case. What we want is a slicer. So while this is selected, we can just go onto slicer and click slicer. So now we have a way to navigate, but I still missing something. We can still do Asia. Oh, that's good. Europe, that's good. Oh, fantastic. That's really awesome. Okay, but this is not quite as nice as we wanted. So what else can we do? So we're gonna come in here and bring population. It's gonna show just a visual representation of something rather than relying on these bars. So we're gonna say, what can we bring? What can we bring? Let's use a card. So a card is going to help us like visualize that. So imagine now if we click Africa, the card is going to show Asia. It's going to show us. Really awesome. That's really awesome. So we just yeah, let's see how it goes. So we want to change our slicer so that it looks a bit nicer. So we're gonna say while this slicer is being clicked, let's just change the scale of everything here, make it a bit bigger. Yeah, that'll do. Cool. So we're gonna click our slicer, then we're gonna say uh, format your visual, and we're gonna go to slicer setting. So here we're gonna say style of slicer we want. So we've got vertical, tile, or drop down. So we're gonna go tile. Then it's gonna give us something like this. That's really cool. And we could actually, because the card is just too big, but yeah, let's see what we do. It's not very symmetrical, but hey, it is what it is. Honestly, you could spend hours trying to work out the best way. So let's not get too carried away. Otherwise, we'll be here all day. So already this is kind of like shaping up quite nicely. Like we've got like considering like how much time we spent on this, we already got like a nice looking report. We could, of course, we could jazz up these colors, make it something more nicer and stuff like that. But for a basic report, this is nice. I would go with this. It's just nice. So yeah, what else can we do? So we want, let's create like a, let's give it a better name, sum of population. Let's go into let's remove the callout name 8 billion. Then we can say in here, then we can say title. Yeah, let's give it a title. Then we say pop total population. Okay, then we can put it on the center. I don't know, there's a bit of a people were quite antsy about doing what I've just done there, but hey, it is what it is. And let's just remove this bit a little bit. So it's okay, it's okay. But yeah, as you can see, like it's not a bad looking report. Of course, we can make some few tweaks just to make it pretty, but as as this is as good as it gets. Just like a few clicks, and we've managed to create a nice report people can actually understand. And let's say you want to share this report with your friends, or if you're a student, you're doing group work, you just want to put this in part of your coursework because you don't want to take a screenshot and do that. So all you have to do is go into here, then export to PDF. What it's going to do is just going to take a snapshot of what's on there, and voila, it looks alright. Of course, after you've done your own final touches, it will look even better, but it's not a bad thing at all. So a better way would be, if you wanted something like this, you could just duplicate the page and you can just remove things that are irrelevant. Okay, so like this, we don't want that. We could do and that's it. So we've moved the slicer so you can actually share this with people, and it looks alright. There you go. So a few clicks and we managed to create a nice little report that you can actually share with your colleagues, or just put it in your in your dissertation. For example, if you're a student doing a dissertation, you can just show this as your evidence for your research or whatever you're going to be trying to analyze. So this is really quite a powerful tool. There's more to this. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this, make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure to comment so that we can get that conversation going. And yeah, until next time, goodbye.